Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Podcasting isn't just about talking. It's about growing, engaging, and monetizing. And that's where Podcast One Pro comes in. Whether you're an independent creator or a major brand, Podcast One Pro gives you the tools you need to take your podcast to the next level. We're talking about premium hosting, advanced analytics, dynamic ad integration, and expert distribution, all designed to maximize your reach and revenue. Plus, with access to Podcast One's industry-leading network, you'll be connected to top-tier advertisers and a massive audience. It's time to go pro and turn your passion into profit. Visit podcastonePro.com to get started today. Podcast One Pro, the power behind the podcast. Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on. Mandate, get on. John Popper back on the show. John's on the road right now from his hotel room. He's out with Blues Traveler, and Blues Traveler's doing a co-headlining gig with the Gin Blossoms, who are very good as well, and they got tons of dates, and I'll get into that.
Also, the Spin Doctors are on that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, last time I saw you were out with Jewel.
Yes. You came and sang with us, I believe.
Yes, we did Big Bottoms by
a classic.
Final Tap. A classic, but you loved watching Jewel perform so much that you would sit there after your set and enjoy her set, right?
It was great. We were kind of trapped there because you got to load the gear out at the end of the night. So I just started watching Jewel's set, and it was amazing to watch what she does singing. She's really talented. I mean, everybody says she's talented. People go and see her play, so you figure she's talented. But I had no idea until I saw her live show. Just how amazing she is.
Blues Traveler was someone I was early money on out here in L.A. There used to be an alternative radio station, not K-Rock. There was another. There was an alternative radio station out here in the 92, 93, 94, and it would play you guys. It would play Sheryl Crow when no one knew who Sheryl Crow was.
Yeah.
It would play someone you must know, but I don't think we've ever discussed it, but someone I just love is Victoria Williams.
Oh, yeah, she's killer.
Yeah.
We see her whenever we can. You know, Adam, I keep trying to hold back this surprise, but the last time you and I actually talked, do you remember when that was?
Were we in Texas?
No, you were driving somewhere with your son.
Oh,
and
that's right.
A song came on the radio.
Yes.
See, but what you're kind of forgetting is that you said you were coming to my wedding.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
Yes.
I know.
And so, you know, our wedding was like 2 years ago, and it was in November. And so months are going by. You know how it is when you're getting RSVPs. And we didn't hear back from you. And so the whole time, you know, like you get those little, you know, spats in the course of your wedding planning, you know, and my wife kept saying, you know, is Adam coming? And I was like, I don't know. He said he was. And we kept not hearing back from you. So just to be safe, we kept the dinner that we got you for the wedding. We figured you were tri-tip.
Tri-tip, yeah.
So, you know, I figured with the asparagus.
Oh, yeah.
We have saved this thing in our freezer for so long. And when I heard that I was coming on your show, I had them, you know, quick ship this from my wife's freezer in Ohio. And we have your address in Glendale, and this is on its way to you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, you have no idea how long we've been trying to get this thing out of our friggin' freezer.
Is that a 100% true story? That sounds amazing.
This is a dinner that we have saved you for 2 years, and I'll bet it's just as delicious. The catering company swears by their work. This will be put in some sort of a container that will keep it from melting, and this is as good as in your belly.
I will eat it. And if people think I'm joking, I am not. If that thing shows up, I will consume it. I will
Oh my
film
God.
myself consuming it.
I want film because just for insurance purposes. I mean, this could
Sure.
kill you if you eat a
I
2-year-old wedding dinner.
I will eat it. I was present at the K Rock. Oh, and
Yeah.
by the way, the other band. So this radio station would play Blues Traveler. They would play the Jayhawks, and they would play.
Yeah.
They would play Loose from Victoria Williams and stuff like that. And I remember just thinking, this music is so different and smart, and it's like, it's interesting. It wasn't rock. It wasn't alternative. You know, it wasn't grunge. It wasn't punk. It was something that was different. And I love, by the way, so I then became a Blues Traveler fan and also became a Jayhawks fan. I love the Jayhawks. But I don't even know what to call that music, and I'm sure radio stations have an official name for it. But did it feel new to you back then?
Yes, in our mind, we felt like every song we did was a single. Even though it was 7 minutes long. In our mind, it was our music was all we were about. And I would always say to people who couldn't define us, it's ours. That's what we call it.
Right.
But really, what we were doing was taking our love of improvised rock and roll, like the Zeppelin era, when people would do really long solos and they would stretch out and it'd be a cool thing. Like Jimi Hendrix, for me, was a role model. We went out into the world in the 80s, and there was a lot of it's just not my kind of music. The pop stuff going on in the 80s kind of made you do this sort of dance. And so we were really reacting against that. We wanted, in our minds, it was a return to what classic rock is called, but it was also the songwriting was us, and it was weird, and that made it unique. And, we had sort of a little renaissance in that part of New York with our friends, the Spin Doctors. And it was basically people our age would come to our shows, and they were looking for some sort of Grateful Dead connection, but at the same time, we had some weird kind of edge to us that made us really not fit in any category. So that enabled us to fit in a lot of categories because we were like playing with jam bands. I mean, that's sort of where we made our teeth, was on the road with the Horde bands and things like that. But we were also young. We were the same age as the grunge guys.
Right.
And we didn't really hear a difference if it was new. Like in our mind, every new band sounded strange. But eventually, in retrospect, you look back at the 90s, and there is kind of a sound of the singers and things like that.
Right.
And we didn't fit in that category either. I think maybe that was our supreme asset, and also the big pain in the ass about it was that we didn't sound like anybody. There's good things about that and bad things, but 40 years later, we're still playing, so I'll take it as a good thing.
I'll tell you, I'll say this about John. I've said it a million times. The voice is so amazing, underappreciated because of the virtuoso harmonica playing, and we don't have a lot of room in our heads. In as humans, we have to go, John Popper, what about it? Great harmonica player, and then we move on. And I go, great harmonica player, but his instrument is really his voice, and I mean it. But now I sort of think it's like, in a weird way, it's kind of like Dolly Parton. Like, what's up with Dolly Parton? Huge tits. Like, yeah, but she's got a great voice too.
Her voice I got to work with her once, and you see Dolly Parton, and you're right. You're completely just stunned by her and the hair as well as the tits. But then she sings, you're like, oh, and you sort of remember why you're there in the first place.
Right.
But it's still a revelation. She blows me away.
It took us a while. It took us a long time to really appreciate her beyond the look and the aesthetic. And I feel the same way. I feel that in a weird way, your harmonica is like Dolly Parton's tits, is what I'm saying.
I think that's a pretty astute observation, because Dolly would tell you this as well as me. I was selling the harmonica, like I was saying, look, this is what I do. That's because it was different.
Right.
And I think that's what Dolly was doing, is like, you can't not remember what she looks like. But then when you get there, the singing is what really like keeps you there.
And
what's
John,
weird is she had me on that session, I thought, for the harmonica playing, but she actually wanted me for my voice on that one.
Right. I see. That's she's looking past the tits and going to the voice. And also, John plays a hell of an electric guitar as well, which is.
I used to. I forgot how.
Oh, you forgot how?
Yeah. And what's weird is that nerves were pinched off in my elbow, in my shoulder. And I had to get surgery eventually, but I was always playing the guitar with this thumb and these two fingers. And it's been so long that I've kind of forgotten how to do it.
Do you play any other instruments?
I can mess around on a piano a little bit, but not so as you'd think I like. A pianist could spot me as a fake a mile away.
Can you write on a harmonica, or do you need to hold a guitar to write a song, or how does that process work?
You basically have a sense of chord progression, and you know that there's like, if you pick a tonic note, la, you know that la will be the fourth and la, so you can always do the la, 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 la. So as long as you have a sense of chord structure, you really don't need anything to write with, like unless you're going really elaborate sus chords, and you got to work that out. But I find that comes sort of at the last minute when the band is laying it down. That's when you put on the embellishment chord. So it really, as far as a chord structure goes, if you know that, then you can kind of figure it out in your head.
How you doing in the gun collection department? Anything new?
Good. Well, I'm saving it. We're looking at a pretty nice year, and if I behave that's what I'm trying to do now, is buy a gun when I've done something really cool, because the guns I'm buying now are the really expensive ones. I'm not buying, like, I've got pretty much all of your $200 variety, but what I'm looking at is there is a lever action 500 Magnum. That's a 50 caliber sized cartridge, and it's a takedown lever action gun that has like a muzzle brake on it, and it's really tricked out, and that's what I'm going to get at the end of the year.
Who makes it?
It's called Bighorn, and the one that I want. Look up Bighorn Black Thunder. Oh, it's like a lever action, but that Rambo tweaked out. You know, the guy in that John Wick movie had something sort of like it.
Is lever action? What's the difference between bolt action and lever?
Lever's where it's like the Cowboys, where it goes like that.
Like an old Winchester.
Exactly, it's that action.
Yeah, like the old rifleman.
Oh, some of those are great. Like, the great thing about a lever action is you can beat the shit out of it. It comes apart easy. You can stow it. You can get it to about this big and put it away, and then put it together. A bolt action rifle is going to be more accurate, but I'm not trying to make shots at 1,000 yards. I want something I can go through the brush in Alaska, and if I see a bear, he'll look at the gun and go, "Oh shit, I'm out of here." That's what I'm working on.
It's funny that you brought up Alaska, and I want to get back to guns in a second, but you brought up Alaska and bear. And I was saying, oftentimes when I speak to John, he has a harmonica nearby.
I can run to my room and get it. I don't have one on me.
Oh, you're not in your room?
No, I'm in my tour manager's room, because my room is a lot messier than this. See that
that's
made
a clean
bed?
room. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is to look like this is what I do. I hang out in clean hotel rooms, but no, there's like various old meals everywhere, and it's a mess. You don't want to. It's a quagmire.
So you took the manager room for cleanliness, because the crazy story is, I said, I don't know, we can't clear any songs anymore for you to play along to, because you always get flagged. But we had AI make a song.
Oh, my God.
And it was about Alaska. And it's a long story, but we went to Alaska, and Mike August announced that Mike Dawson should make himself the Don Ho of Alaska. Now it's perfect. He has a grizzled look. He can't do anything great, but he does a lot of stuff good, and that's good enough to be the Don Ho of Alaska. And actually, he dubbed him Don Hodiak, which sounds a lot like Alaska and Kodiak to me. And then we had AI make a song, and we'll just play a little of it.
So AI wrote the song.
AI wrote this song.
And this is me in my small studio performing it.
Oh, he's got the voice for it.
Up in the land where the cold winds bite, where the mountains rise and the days stretch night. There's a giant in the timber. He's wild and he's free. A shadow on the shoreline, just watching me. They say you ain't seen power until you stared one down. And old Don Hodiak knows this bear-run town. 'Cause Kodiak's the king of the northern wild, where the grizzlies roam and the rivers smile. From the salmon runs to the midnight skies, that bear's got fire in his ancient eyes. You can talk Montana or them Yellowstone tracks, but the heart of the wild beats loud in Kodiak.
Don Hodiak singing.
Wow.
Singing
You
his
know, that
Alaska
could
song.
also be a song about his penis. Like the first lines were about how he's like you're staring this beast down amongst the timber.
Yes. The
You know,
name. The name of your gun could also be a good penis name too. What was that gun called?
Which one? Oh, the Bighorn Black Thunder. Yeah,
That's
right.
pretty solid
Yeah.
penis name right there.
Seriously.
Hey, baby, you want to ride the Bighorn Black Thunder? I got an e-ticket for you.
You know my favorite gun when I named it Shooty, Shooty Tenuta. That's the name of that's my carry piece.
What gun did you use to kill the squirrel inside of your home with?
Oh, well, that was actually a perfect application of firearm selection. It was a silenced 22 Ruger with the integral silencer built in. And it's built to completely sound quieter than a BB gun. And so, you know, I didn't wake the neighbors, didn't hurt my ears, and just plonk. He was hiding up on a wagon wheel on my wall.
Yeah.
And dropped him fast. The problem is I got cocky later and tried to get a mouse that same way, and now I got a bullet hole in my floor. So had I just stopped at the squirrel, I would have been 100, you know, 1 for 1, and I should just quit. Now I'm 1 for 2, so I stopped shooting stuff in my house.
Yeah, John sent me that picture. It's very impressive, but it's also as described. It's a squirrel with a hole in it.
Yeah, it's a big hole. It's like a big 22 bullet. Like it's like they took a 22 long and put it on a 22 short.
Yeah. Were there any?
Oh yeah, there he is. Look at that hole in his back. I mean, usually a 22 won't do something that big.
Was there any consideration about just opening the door and yelling "get"?
I was trying to get to the door, but he would dart in front of the door like a lunatic. And so like he was not going for it. And I had all this stuff on my wall. So he just kept clinging to things on the walls and then throwing them down. And he was basically bashing himself against the walls, trying to like sort of dart back and forth. And he couldn't figure out just go out of that door where the air smells better, you know, but I couldn't do it.
I do feel it is a weird game, and I've had it happen, not with squirrels, but with moths or something, where you're like opening the window and the door and you're going, just get out. And at a certain point, you get frustrated and you go, now you're going to die.
I had to drop a deuce, and I also had to make breakfast. And like, how much time was I going to put into this squirrel rehabilitation? He should know better. He's coming in. He barks at me every time I go outside. Why is he going in the house to bark at me?
Agreed.
And what was great was after I shot him for like 2 months, absolute quiet in my yard when I came outside. It's like all of the other animals like, shh, here he comes.
Here comes Big John.
Yeah, right.
Right now, North America is the center of the soccer universe, hosting the biggest sporting event in the world. 48 nations competing for world status, and our Stars and Stripes are off to a great start in their group stage matches. And BetOnline has you covered with all the updated odds, player props, and contests for the whole tournament. In between games, be sure to visit the casino and poker rooms for more Vegas-style action. Enjoy the freedom of online gaming at BetOnline, where the action moves with you and every moment is yours. Bet on at BetOnline.
Quo, you know the moment where you ask your team, did you follow up with that guy? And your whole team just goes silent. Your customers moved on, and at some point, you're just like, let's fucking Quo. See what I did there? That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Q-U-O, the business phone system built so you never miss a call. All your calls, texts, and voicemails live in one place. Anyone on your team can pick up a conversation, see the full history, and respond fast. Quo's built-in AI agent handles after-hour calls and integrates with the tools your team already uses. It's Quo, right, Dawson?
Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free. Plus, get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/Adam. That's QUO.com/Adam.
Give me some holy grail guns, and I'll buy you a little bit of time, and I will tell you that things like in the collector's world, there's watches, there's cars, there's guns. You know, I think people all think it's paintings, you know, Picasso paintings or something. But the collector world is big time. Look, Paul Newman's watch sold for like $18 million like 5 years ago. Like,
I think Jesse James's actual pistols are somewhere and being sold.
Right.
And Wyatt Earp's guns. You know,
right.
I think gunfighters' pistols, or the gun that shot Lincoln, I think that's in the Smithsonian, but that's a pricey Derringer there. That was just a simple black powder gun.
What do you think, like, at auction? Like, what is a big-time gun?
Okay, I can tell you about the most valuable gun I've heard of is a Luger. When Luger was trying for, when the American Army was updating their pistol, their sidearm, they went with the Colt 1911. Designed by John Browning. But there were other people bidding for that contract. And Luger was just selling to the German army, and there's a great company in Switzerland or Germany. I can't remember where Luger actually is, but they made a Luger in .45 automatic caliber. Normally it's a 9mm, but because they were competing for the U.S. contract and they knew the U.S. had selected this .45 automatic caliber, basically a cut-down version of the .45 long Colt that were in cowboy pistols. But they made one that fed into an automatic. That's the .45 ACP that we know. There are about 2 or 3 of these Lugers that were ever made. So it's extremely rare, but there is a functioning one. China started making copies of it, but if you can find the actual Luger in .45 ACP, you're sitting on something like millions of dollars.
Really? And
The pain in the ass about that is I would want to shoot it.
Right.
So I got a Luger from 1917, and I shoot it every now and then. And the fact that it's more than 100 years old does give you pause. You don't put like hot ammo in it, but I also have a Winchester, you know, the lever action shotgun that the guy had in Terminator 2. I got that one, but it's really from the 1800s. It's an 89 model shotgun.
It's a shotgun that holds how many shots?
5.
Really?
But yeah, and it's in a really slender piece. Like the way they made that lever action shotgun, that's a lot of collectors or a lot of cowboy action people get replicas of those made by the Italian companies like Uberti make the best ones of those. Like if you want a good cowboy gun that you don't mind like damaging, you get an Uberti.
You must remember the beginning of the Rifleman with Chuck Connors, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just pumping that thing right down the main street. Unclear what he's shooting at. Seems to be doing it in the middle of the day, in the middle of a crowded town.
In the 50s, they seem to like hip shooting a lot.
Yes.
Just bang, bang. It's like in Star Wars. Nobody ever aimed in Star Wars. If you look at it, they're just kind of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Chuck Connors is walking down the middle of Main Street, just holding that Winchester by his hip and just pumping as many rounds into an open society as he deemed fit.
Well, his son looked up to him, and it was like the rifle was kind of the mom in the family.
Yeah. Hey, Pa, are we going out on the Indian Trail? Come on, Pa. Yes, his little son. I was so jealous of him. I was jealous of that little kid. I wish I looked up to my dad.
I wanted my dad to be Chuck Connors as well. Like, who didn't?
Well, I always picture you as a fat kid on a moped back in the day.
That was me.
Paint that picture of you in high school of a fat kid on a moped.
Well, I moved from Stamford, Connecticut to Princeton, New Jersey on my 16th birthday. And what my parents didn't tell me, first of all, when you're in Connecticut, all you hear of New Jersey is chemical spills. And,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to live in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and Princeton is by no means that. It's a lovely little town. And,
Right.
Einstein was there. But I moved on my 16th birthday, and my parents didn't tell me, the driving age was now 17. So on my 16th birthday, I learned that I wouldn't be getting to drive for another year. But you could get a moped in New Jersey at an earlier age. So my parents got me this moped, and I drove that thing all over the place. And I wanted it was a top tank. It was a Puch Magnum 2.
Yeah.
And so it had the top tank, but it looks like some of the engine is missing.
Yeah.
And that was my option. And I also shorted out the horn, which would throw it into gear earlier, so I could get sort of. I don't know if that had any advantage of a vehicle, but I like the fact that I could throw it into second faster by honking the horn, and it would short out the thing and throw it into the next gear. But I was looking for some way to make it cool, and I had an old gas mask that I got from an Army surplus store, and I put that on the headlight.
Uh-huh.
And I got pulled over a lot for style.
And
that's the way I put it.
people knew. Now, how big were you when you were on this moped?
I was probably 280, something like that.
That's a big boy for a moped.
Yeah, but that's all I could get. And, that thing only went like 25 miles an hour on a downhill. So,
Yes.
So I got a lot of abuse from people as they moved by.
Now, you're playing the harmonica back then, right? Like, when did you pick up the harmonica?
In high school, it was around then.
And it's kind of nice, actually, because if you play certain instruments, you need a van. But if you play the harmonica, all you need is a moped.
What was cool about that is there wasn't anybody to tell me I was playing it wrong. I kept getting hung up on, the fingering that a teacher would tell me, like on a trumpet or a cello. And so eventually, being dyslexic and way behind in school anyway, why do I want to have another thing I have to learn and struggle? Every good bird does fly. I wasn't thinking that way on a harmonica. You just do what sounds right. And I had a good ear, so that made it. People seemed to like it, and I would show up at school functions, and they would have me. They'd give announcements, and then they'd start chanting for me, and I'd play the harmonica on a microphone, and that's kind of how it was known. I was that harmonica guy.
It's kind of interesting as a kid. I didn't have much going on when I was young at all, but I could ride a unicycle.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was kind of the thing that I could do that other people couldn't do.
Did that get you laid? Because you know what they say about unicyclists.
Only one place to sit. No, I don't think do that.
I say balance is really good.
My balance was really good. I only rode it from about age 8 or 9 to probably about 11 or 12. And then I broke my shoulder playing football. And then I rode it around with a cast on. And then my mom didn't like the optics of me riding it with a cast. So a friend of mine asked if he could borrow it. He borrowed it. 2 months later, the cast came off. And I said to Chris, who borrowed it, now I need my unicycle back because it's the only thing I have in my life.
There's a sentence. I need my unicycle back. There's a lot to unpack.
So he said, I put it in your backyard. And I said, it's not in my backyard. And he said, well, I guess someone stole it out of your backyard after I put it in your backyard. And then I went and said to my mom, I'm out a unicycle. Could you talk to Chris's mom about perhaps figuring out a way to get me a new unicycle? And,
I don't want to say this because I am a squirrel murderer, but squirrels can ride unicycles. I'm just putting it out there that
they
maybe
could
there's
have
a third
stolen
party.
it. Yes. You know what? You're right. They have incredible balance.
Framed.
They have incredible balance because I've seen them water ski.
That's true.
And they can do it. So they can
We've all seen them water ski. They're flaunting that at us.
So,
squirrels.
By the way, every once in a while it'll show up on Follies or whatever, and they go, it's a water skiing squirrel. It's a squirrel that's sitting on a wooden plank that's being dragged and standing on it.
It's a squirrel eating a nut that someone gave him.
It's a squirrel that doesn't want to die by falling into the lake, but it's not water skiing. It's clinging to life. But anyway, My mom went and talked to Chris's mom. Chris's mom said if he put it in the yard, he put it in the yard. And my mom returned with the sad news that there will be no more unicycles for me. So
the truth of the unicycle is it is the hardest vehicle to get laid in because there's only seats for one.
yes, but it'll set you apart much like the harmonica would set you apart, except for my unicycle career was over about 12. But you...
Well, see, the harmonica, at least you have blues or Dylan to like pretend you're cool. Because like if I had an accordion, that's one of those.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's no upside to an accordion. You can't rip a riff, even though you could rip a riff technically on a accordion. Nobody wants to hear that. Like they're just saying, "Oh God," like the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's
right.
That's what you're talking about. It's like polka. It's a guaranteed polka. There's very few, like, there's Zydeco, like, if you live down in New Orleans.
There's some, the Who's Squeeze Box is a good
yes,
accordion.
If you know that thing well, if you can do that well, you do like sea shanties.
Right.
You could probably get laid with that. But the harmonica, at least, there's an implication eventually that I'm good at cunnilingus.
Oh, it's implied. You're right.
Yes, there's a sucking, a blowing, a trilling. There's
That's right.
I'm doing lots of tonguing things.
Yeah, that's why you need to find a gal who's good on the clarinet.
Now, in high school, they don't make that connection right away. They're not going, what is it about that? But I found in my 20s that people were making that connection all on their own before even I was.
Well,
I was actually afraid of oral sex. I had to have friends of mine talk me into it. And then once I started doing it, I was really good at it.
Oh, yeah.
Those first few years, I didn't make the correlation between harmonica playing and oral sex. But once you do, you can't go back.
You breathe the whole time you're playing the harmonica, right?
You got to breathe in oral sex, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you get popular in high school on your moped with your gas mask on and your big carriage, but you play the harmonica, and that makes you fit in because you're a transplant, right?
Yes, I had moved from Connecticut. Also throw in that every day I had one piece of clothing I wore. It was a camouflage vest.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so you have to picture, and I also had a cabbie hat.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Hat.
It was like a wool hat. My drummer, Brendan, always would wear the hat that I would then co-opt. Like he started wearing a cabbie hat. He's from Ireland. And so I started wearing one, and then I'm the one who popularized it. Then he got a hat kind of like this somewhere in the 90s. I was like, yeah, I want one of those. And so then he eventually had to stop wearing it because I have a great talent for wearing one piece of clothing repeatedly.
Yeah, me too.
That's what this whole gig's about. I mean, who could recognize me with my hair's gone?
Bald head, but you got the harmonica hat, which you've worn for years and years.
And then I'm like that guy. They don't quite know a blues traveler per se, but they heard of that guy. And that's a better kind of reputation because maybe I killed a man. Maybe it was a squirrel. Who knows?
Yeah, it is kind of funny when the way people's brains work, where they know you from somewhere. Yeah. But they don't know where.
You're the voice of death for a lot of people because of that Family Guy thing.
Yeah. It is interesting. If you stick around long enough and you do enough stuff, then you'll be something to somebody. And for you, you kind of know it's Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
But for me, people will go, "Oh, I love that TV show." And I've done a few TV shows. So I'll go, "What?" And they'll go, "Oh, it's the one about the contractors." And I'll go, "Oh, Catch a Contractor." Okay. I assumed you were talking about another thing,
Well, yeah, the Man Show was a legendary innovation. And then you got your voiceover work for all of those things. I mean, and then you got Love Lines. Like you were pretty busy.
Yeah, I was, because I worked regular jobs, hard jobs, kind of tough manual labor out in the sun jobs. And so I was like, any job where you're getting paid to talk and you're in air conditioning and there's free food, you can never complain. I mean, the novelty of getting paid while I'm sitting down was a novelty to me, because my jobs were carpet cleaning, McDonald's cook, liquor, delivering liquor for the Flask liquor store, then construction, and
so
then
carrying stuff was like what a job is.
Yeah, my job was moving things, not necessarily as a mover, just the drywall's in the driveway, bring the drywall, put it up in the master, whatever. It was a constant going out to the truck, getting the level, bringing it back. So you physically moved things. It could be building materials, it could be tools. You always were standing, which is it's kind of a weird thing when you employ people that sit. You never know what they're up to because they're sitting.
Joe, what my job was avoiding those jobs that you're talking about. When I was like 9, my parents found out that I was pretty strong and could like help them move a couch. And I've got 6 brothers and sisters, all of whom went to college. So I got to move all of them up to their like first-year dorm rooms that are always on like the 5th floor.
Yes.
I've seen Yale, I've seen Harvard, and I've seen them by the staircases, and they don't impress me. I'll tell you, they need an elevator. Frankly.
I will give you the 1-2 punch of having to help people move. I drove a pickup truck and was completely able-bodied. And I must have had everyone in North Hollywood help them move at some
poor
point.
Son of a bitch! You never saw it coming.
Never. I had to drive a pickup truck because I was a carpenter, and between the pickup truck and the strong back, I was moving somebody every single weekend. And it wasn't always moving. A lot of it was they're throwing away a pinball machine, and it's it's in Sherman Oaks, and it's in the alley, and I don't know how long it's going to stay there. So let's go tonight. It was a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of dumping stuff.
With my band, when we started, we were using our bass player's mom's Peugeot station wagon to go to gigs. And everybody had to load gear. But I knew early on from my moving my sibling experience, you don't want to be the guy carrying stuff. So I would fake a back injury.
Smart.
Pretty much until we got a road crew. Like once we had roadies, then my back mysteriously got better. But there was a point where the guys are loading stuff in the car, and they just look at me and go, John, we know you're not going to carry anything. Right. And I was like, okay, finally, someone who gets me. And that's been my job ever since, is to, there was really somebody once talked about me maybe running for a Congress spot. And what I was physically thinking is, in my job now, in a band, I have to stand up on stage for 2 hours. Versus like I would have to wear a tie if I ran for Congress, but I'd be sitting down. And those are the parameters I was thinking of for like job, qualification or even desire to do the job. I considered Congress for about 5 seconds because they'd have a chair for me.
Yes.
And like that was really what I was thinking of as far as, what motivates me to work.
Yeah. The notion that I could sit and talk, also just talking, getting paid to talk was incredible because I had this funny moment where I actually was sitting at one point. I was doing earthquake rehab work, which is the worst work ever is earthquake rehab. It's real dirty. It's a real mess.
What is it you're doing? You're re-solidifying the ground so
Earthquake rehab means you crawl underneath a building that is almost condemned from the 20s, built of brick. You dig footings, trenches under the building. So you lay where the dead cats and the rats are, and you dig us out, and then you pour a footing, and then you build what they call a cripple wall. Everything is, there's no political correctness in building, but no one who is politically correct is in building, and no one who's a politically correct person knows any building terminology. So you can just call it a cripple wall all day long. And so, and they also have, male and female fittings and stuff. They have in cars, they have a master cylinder.
Is there a they option?
There's no they fittings. There is a master cylinder and a slave cylinder in a car. Anyone who drives an old car, the master tells the slave cylinder what to do. It's that's how you engage. You engage a clutch with a slave cylinder. They still call it that in 2026 because there's no woke people who work at tune-up masters. So
is there a rape lever?
There's a rape lever. No, but you build a cripple wall. The cripple wall goes to the bottom floor, and then you demo everything, and you shear wall it with plywood, and you go all the way up to the roof. And you're
in a tunnel. It's like you're digging
it's a horrible
escape tunnel.
It's a horrible, horrible job. It's horrible. It's dirty. It's dangerous.
But
And-
you're sitting.
Well, you're laying on your belly because there's not enough room. But no, there's no sitting. But one time I got to sit. Now, here's the other thing. There's something, the other thing you do in earthquake rehab is called repointing. So imagine you're looking at an old brick building and the whole side of the wall's brick all the way up 4 stories, right? And the building was built 100 years ago. The mortar in between the bricks is all falling apart. It's been too long. Right. So you go in there and you grind out the old mortar like 2 inches deep, and then you sit and you tuck the new mortar into it with something called a tuck trowel. Now picture how much mortar's in the side of a building. And so you just sit. I sat there next to another guy on scaffolding. We were just sitting there with our hawk. That's the flat thing with the mortar on it and a little skinny tuck trowel. And we were just sitting there tucking it in times 200 million feet. And he was sitting 5 feet from me. And we were talking as we were tucking this stuff in. And the foreman walked by, Mike Stromat. He walked past us and he looked up and he said, "No talking." And I thought, it's not in any way impeding what we're doing at all. He just wanted to make sure we were extra miserable.
Yes, you have to be. I mean, come on, you're enjoying this too much.
Yeah. Well, I
You're
wouldn't even say
basically putting
enjoying
the
it.
filling back in the cake. It's like a layer cake, and you're putting the stuff in between them after it's made.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's as if there's a layer cake and you got to grind out the old stuff that went bad.
You guys should have pretended you were like French pastry chefs.
There is something called bagging it in, where they do have mortar bags.
The little bag deal.
Yeah, it's a pastry bag for mortar, and you can put it in there with the bag, but you got to tuck it back.
Wow.
Well, we were just tucking it, but yes, there are mortar bags. So, yes.
I've worked at a gas station for 2 weeks and a Burger King for 3 days, and that is actually the only 2 jobs I've ever officially
God,
held.
you're so lucky.
Burger King, they had a "you lean, you clean" rule.
The sign in my back of the McDonald's said, "Time to lean, time to clean."
And the thing that sucked is the manager was this very obese woman who would constantly just make herself snacks. So at one point, I'm really hungry. I'm sitting there dealing with onion rings all day. There's lots of the Burger King secrets, like the mayonnaise for the chicken sandwich is rock hard, and I like show my guy and he just chisels his way in and stirs it up and goes, shh. And I have a single onion ring. "John, what's that in your mouth?" "Nothing." And I got fired
For that.
eating an onion ring. Yes. And what was cool is that I was just got the job to pay my mom off in speeding tickets that I'd spent. So this happens again the next year, and I'm thinking, all right, I'll work at the Sunoco station. Well, the Sunoco station had the assistant was rarely there, and his assistant, the mechanic would be there occasionally, and the assistant mechanic was the guy whose job I was replacing. I'm on the pumps. And they would make me smoke hash under glass, like when I had to close up by myself just to mess with me. And a biker gang comes in, and I'm closing up the place by myself. And as they leave, they go, "You drop that." And there's like my roll of singles and 20s is rolled down. So I'm real paranoid. And I accidentally shut down the Sunoco main computer, which meant everything on pump number 3 the next day didn't register. So the mechanic looks at it and goes, "I'll give you 3 days with this, and then I got to call the company." And I didn't know what he meant until suddenly I realized everything on pump 3 could go into my pocket. And I got just free cash. So we told everyone that pump 3 was the only pump working. So all day, cars are going in on a line. The assistant mechanic sees how much money I'm making. I made like, $400 in half an hour. He's like, "Let me on the." I sat down while he and the mechanic did the cars all day for the next 3 days. But here's the kicker. Somebody found out about it. The assistant mechanic, he was like a petty thief. He would like steal people's tape decks and stuff.
Right.
Apparently was bragging that, among other things, everything on pump 3 at Larry Sunoco would be free for us to have. And apparently Larry found out about it. But I had gone to New York trying to get into the Monkees audition that was happening at Madison Square Garden or wherever MTV was having Monkees auditions.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole company showed up with like, record takers. And the guy who replaced me was like in a lot of trouble because they did the dip readings to see if it was all legal and if there was any gasoline that had been missing. And I don't know how, but somehow the guy walks up to him at the end and goes, there's a difference of $2. And he hands him $2 and leaves.
So going back to Burger King, are you working the grill at Burger King or are you working the register?
I'm taking the Whoppers and putting them in the buns and then putting that in the steamer for when they're, called on to be like hot Whoppers.
And are these, are you 17?
They kept saying Whopper, and it made me so paranoid with the name Popper. Because like, Whopper, Whopper.
What? How old are you at that point?
I am 17.
So that lasted a few days.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days. And
Yes.
then Sunoco, a couple of weeks. And
Well, see, what happened at Sunoco, though, is Chris from the Spin Doctors, he was going to high school with me, and somebody showed up at the Sunoco station and said, could you give this to Chris? And it was a sheet of acid.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that I had hallucinated on really strong marijuana. So I figured I can handle this. I'm gonna try it. And I figured I'm a big guy, so I should take 3 tabs of acid, just, because, I'm big.
Right.
The pores on my leg. Well, what started all this is I'm getting up to go to work, and my grandmother was there, Naj Mama, and she kind of missed the toilet a little, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to use that bathroom, and I kind of sat in it.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I went into kind of a shock, put a key in an envelope that said, I quit, cleaned myself up, of course, get to the Sunoco, stick the key under the door and go home and take 3 tabs of acid. And that was like a life choice moment for me when, when grandma has an accident, it can really affect other members of the family.
So that's the only legitimate working jobs you've ever had in your entire life.
Yes.
Wow. And it's been professional musician from then on.
I have one job skill, and if my jaw falls off, I'm screwed because I don't know how to do anything else.
So you started getting paid as a musician at 18 or 19?
Yeah, I would say later that year, 18, we started doing, we do gigs around school. And then I think our first legitimate gig was John and Peter's in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is also where George Thorogood started playing. So that was our first gig, and they called us Traveling Blues Band. And our parents showed up, and those are the only people that showed up. They have a tape. I still have a tape somewhere of us playing that gig with our parents just laughing the whole time.
People should avail themselves of George Thorogood's song, It Wasn't Me, which is probably a Chuck Berry song.
Right,
I think,
right.
But it's great guitar licks in that George Thorogood song.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people remember, Bad to the Bone. And
Bad to the Bone was like my theme music walking up and down the hallways at school. That was the one I related to.
And they did one bourbon, one shot, one beer.
One scotch, one beer.
Scotch.
Yeah.
Right. One scotch. And also there's that, God, what's the one, Dawson, where he's just talking the whole time? He's like, yeah, shit, woman. She threw me out of the house.
You got the rent money yet. That's one bourbon, one scotch.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually a cover of John Lee Hooker's House Rent Blues.
I love that he just stops in the middle and starts talking about his woman.
Hey, woman, come over here.
You ain't make rent this way. Don't come in here.
Like Mr. T in Rocky III. Hey, woman, you want to know what it's like to get a real man?
You got to hear Johnny Lee Hooker do the talk, too. He does.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Somehow he's got a voice that just gets him laid. I can't do a Johnny Lee Hooker voice.
So you're then playing and paying, but when does the first blues album? You have the first album's a hit, right?
I graduated in '86. No, the first album, it did okay. That's the thing, is that we had enough of an audience by the time the first album came out that at least it sold to our friends. We sold something like 50,000 records, and A&M seemed to think, let's give them less money. We went to New York and started playing at these clubs at a time. It was 1986 when I started going to the new school. Our parents gave us a choice. They said, you can get a job, or my dad sat me down and said, son, you see all this? It's mine. And his point was, get a job. If you go to school, we'll pay for it, but you can't stay here. And we all did the only appropriate thing we could. We lied to our parents and said, we're all going to school. So they would pay for our housing, and then we would skip school and figure out how to play these gigs. And what was really lucky is that I was going to a music school. So there were not only great musicians to teach us things, and, we were learning this stuff by day, and my other bandmates would come and like sit in on the sessions and stuff. But we also had unlimited rehearsal time, rehearsal gear that we could borrow, a practice room. And then at night we would go and learn how to sell beer at these places that needed bands. And what really was the lucky thing was in 1986, it was the year we came to New York, they had just repealed the cabaret law. And what a cabaret law meant is that no more than 3 musicians on any stage without a very expensive, hard to get permit. This came up in the 60s, and it was a way to, keep the noise down or have some control over the noise. But what it meant was any quartet, the bass player had to get a really long chord and sit at the bar while he was playing.
Wow.
And so this all got repealed, which meant suddenly there were all of these new places to play.
Right.
And we were just situated as that band that puts butts in seats because all of these other students knew us. They were our friends. So we had like this line on an audience, and we would play the Monday at Nightingale, the little shithole bar that we started at. And we would pack a Monday.
Right.
And that meant that our friends who were already packing the Saturdays, that was my friend John O'Manson. We did a bunch of albums together, but he was sort of like our big brother mentor, and we would open for him on Saturdays. And eventually we got the Saturdays, and then eventually the Wetlands Bar opened up, and they were looking for a house band, and we were just tailor-made for that. And so New York was kind of like our thing. We were working 6 days a week and saving up our money for recordings. And by the time we met Bill Graham through his son David, and Bill wanted to be our manager, that really, we'd already played the new music seminar, and we were told we had a 45-minute set. But Buddy Miles showed up, did a guitar solo the length of our set, and then got on a bass and did that. He like kicked us off all of our instruments and did a huge solo. And it was just so funny at a certain point because everyone's like, you have to do 45 minutes. This is a very important 45 minutes. The record company guy just liked the fact that there was a crowd there and the way that we handled Buddy Miles just kind of shitting all over our set. And he signed us. And that was in 1990.
Where were the Spin Doctors playing back then? Because I got a friend, Daniel Kelson, who we did the Man Show with.
Oh, I know Daniel, yeah.
And Daniel...
He got us on the Letterman show, too.
Yes. He ended up being on the Letterman show, but he was bartending along with a guy named Tony Barbieri.
That was Mondo Connie and Mondo Perso. These were 2 outfits owned by the same guy, a South African guy named Adolf, who was a real, like, when we didn't have a heater, he would say, I found this heater, you can have, like, he'd always, like, pretend that he found money on the floor for us. But we would be playing there all the time, and this was for the Bridge and Tunnel crowd that was coming. This was not so much a shit bar as more of a touristy place.
Right.
And that became a staple, both the Mondo Cane and the Mondo Perso. Mondo Cane you can see in A Vampire's Kiss, like that was its famous claim to fame.
And the Spin Doctors were playing as well?
Well, when we came to New York, there was the 4 band members and we needed a 5th. And Chris went to high school with us, and he lived above the music store on, on Witherspoon Street. And he would like serenade the girls who would come to his window. And we said, we think you've got, you should come to the city and try and make it and he was very happy to do that. And he came along, and we would have him on guitar in between our sets, just playing acoustic guitar. But like I said, I was going to the New School for Social Research. They had a band that I was playing in there, and Blues Traveler was also in town. So I was worried, if I front 2 different bands, how's this going to work? So in that band was Eric Shankman, the guitar player from the Spin Doctors. And Chris was, going, I can't remember what his situation in New York was. I think he was going to maybe NYU, or it might have been some other school there. But I got him to come to a rehearsal with the other band that was called the Trucking Company. And it was there he met Eric. They almost got into a fight the first night. It was hysterical, but then they like wound up talking afterwards, and that became the Spin Doctors. And so they were like our little brother band. But then in 1993, they broke huge with Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Yes.
And this is right when I'd broken my leg on the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting hauled around in a wheelchair watching my friends just all over MTV. It was grueling.
Did they? Well, I mean, as memory serves, I feel like you guys both broke about the same time, but it feels like maybe they broke 6 months before you guys did.
Well, they broke about, I want to say, like 2 years before. Like our 4 album came out in '94, and Pocket Full of Kryptonite was like end of '92, and so '93 was a huge year for them, and I think they got all the way to number 2 on the charts, something like that, and then we came along. I think actually the next time I saw myself on a video was a Dave Matthews song, because I played on his album as well. And these were bands that we were constantly touring. This is once we started getting out of New York, we ran into bands like Fish and Widespread Panic, Dave Matthews. And these guys were sort of doing the same thing we were doing. And that eventually became the Horde Tour. Right. But as far as New York went, us and the Spin Doctors would always have this New Year's thing at the Paramount or the Roseland Ballroom, depending, and we would have this band, Segway. In fact, tonight, the Gin Blossoms are closing, so we're finally doing the Spin Doctors Blues Traveler Segway tonight that has been long awaited and vaunted. I'm not sure it'll be that wonderful, but it's always great when you don't do them anymore and people remember them. But we'll find out tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. It is weird that 40 years later, I'm still getting up on stage with Chris and like scatting with him like we did in high school. It is
nice, and it's what I think one of the reasons I think people are jealous of. I think they're jealous of musicians for that reason. You know, you signed A&M Records. Herb Alpert's still playing. The A of A&M Records is still picking up his horn and going out on stage, and that guy was also doing what he's doing in 1959 or something, and he's going out playing a gig tonight. John, I'll go wait by the mailbox for my brisket plate, because I will eat it, and I will film myself eating it. Send it cold. Love you, buddy. When's the next time you're going to be anywhere near L.A.?
Well, you're going to be in Austin, but we're playing at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, that's right.
In like a week or so, something like that.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
Hey, whenever I'm around and you're around, man, you always got me. I love coming on your show.
And we'll go out to dinner.
Hell yes. I'll get soup.
You'll get soup. I went out to dinner with Johnny, ordered soup. Who orders soup? All right, brother.
Good. It's good for you.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Good to see you. Blues Traveler, by the way.com. Great live band. Definitely check them out. And we'll take a break. Dawson right after this with news. O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers helpful service and parts and knowledge you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. When I'm stuck on a car problem, I always call O'Reilly. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in-store or online. They'll test your battery for free. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right one. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. I'm always going in there feeling annoyed, trying to fix a problem. Always feel better when I leave. Satisfaction. And they're your one-stop shop for all things auto, do-it-yourself, and you can find exactly what you need in-store or online. It is O'Reilly Auto Parts, right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Hello, and welcome to Pluto Phone. If you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, just stream it for free on Pluto TV, where all your blockbuster favorites are landing all summer long. Catch Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Fantastic.
The Matrix Trilogy.
Welcome to the real world.
Mean Girls.
Shut up.
Titanic.
I'm the king of the world!
And so much more. For Showtime's press nothing. They're free 24/7.
That is so fetch.
On Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Adam, Tony, Santa Cruz County. Hate to burst your bubble, but surf fishing is a real thing. Surf perch, sand dabs, and occasional halibut. I know a person who unfortunately lost his life surf fishing. They wear waders, the real ones. So, get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, I tragically went to high school with a dude who lost his life surf fishing as well. Yeah, I mean, he was older. It was after high school, but it was, I think it was his 25th time of coming home with no fish. His wife beat the shit out of him and killed him.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
He didn't technically lose it surf
That's the
fishing.
danger. That's the danger.
But she just went ahead and shot him after 25 years, 25 times out,
I love how
never
that's-
catching a fucking fish.
That's just an add-on. Oh, yeah, by the way, I know a guy who died surf fishing.
Well, he
And
died.
he didn't even tell the story.
He died doing what he loved, which is being away from his wife.
Do all surf fishing people have huge mustaches?
You know what? I never get to that side of them. I only see the back part.
See, in the Bay Area, when I would have to...
It's a Mexican thing out here.
Yeah. In the Bay Area, there's a canal that runs kind of East Bay, and you'll get people canal fishing.
I abide. I will sign off on canal fishing, bridge fishing, and pier fishing. It's the surf fishing I've never seen anyone capture.
You're going to catch seaweed.
A fish.
I agree.
Everyone close your eyes and picture someone reeling in a fish who's standing in the surf, and it never happens. I've never seen it.
I've lived very close to several beaches in California. I have seen no less than 1,000 people surf fishing. I have never seen one catch anything.
No, it's theirs. It's golf for Mexicans. It's basically, I want to get away from my wife. I can't say I'm just getting away from my wife. I need an activity, but nothing will come of it. All right, what do you got?
Well, as we record this, a water main broke on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. Now, this area here is right between the Whiskey and what's it called?
Viper Room?
No, it's where Santa Monica and Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Beanery.
Where Santa Monica and Hollywood and Sunset meet. So that area has been just a mess and flooded. It's unclear tonight whether the Whiskey will be operating. Of course, more of this will be out by the time you listen to this, but this is not a new problem with the failing Los Angeles infrastructure. This water main is 110 years old.
Wow.
They had to see it coming, especially since in Woodland Hills, Studio City, Porter Ranch, water mains have been breaking all over Los Angeles for the past 5-6 years.
They create sinkholes.
City ain't doing shit about it.
Yeah, we're not so much with the infrastructure. We like ideas. We like to talk about stuff. That is going down La Cienega or something, probably, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's flooding inside of a restaurant. It looks like it used to be sort of right around where Alan Hale's crab barrel was, or lobster barrel. Was one of the many restaurants that Carolla's never went inside of. But I would be, I got to look at colorful signs, and I remember, it's weird. I never went to any restaurants or did anything, but I do remember the Super Bowl of motocross commercials and the funny car commercials and Alan Hale's sign. And I remember all the signs and the commercials. I just never went anywhere or did anything. But, yeah, we are a city of ideas, but not really doers. You know what I mean? We don't. We don't do nuts and bolts. I'll give you an example. We're going to have our runoff to figure out who's going to be the mayor, right?
Boy. Yeah.
All right.
The communist or the socialist?
Right. The two ladies who are going to be running for mayor, one of them will be mayor. Two of them. One of them, Nithya Raman, her last piece of infrastructure work is to go down to Hyperion in Boys Town and take down a no U-turn sign because gay dudes were cruising in that neighborhood. And she went down there with a bunch of he, she, trannies, and then they all celebrated her removing a sign saying no U-turns. Okay, that's her version of infrastructure. Her next version is tearing down the treehouse in front of the guy who wrote for The Simpsons, everyone in the neighborhood. So she tears down the treehouse. She takes down the no U-turn sign in Gayville, and her work is done. Clay pipes from 100 years ago, not so much. By the way, there are no trannies celebrating you when you replace pipes.
No.
You understand?
No.
You want to be celebrated by trannies. So she's removing the sign, being celebrated by the trans community, and or taking down a taxpayer's treehouse that the neighborhood kids have enjoyed for 40 years. So that's her infrastructure. The person she's running against, Mayor Bass, her idea of a good time in infrastructure is heading to Ghana and doing ceremonial dances while her city burns.
Right.
So it's not exactly a nut and bolt crew we're dealing with. We're dealing with dumb chicks who want to fucking celebrate the trans community and the Ghana community, but not so much. You have to understand, they didn't get into this to replace pipes, Dawson.
That's true.
They want to be celebrated. They want to celebrate the trans community, and they want to be celebrated in Ghana. You understand?
Right.
And the reality is, people think I'm being a dick, but I'm saying, like, I don't know that many women who really are into replacing pipes and things like that. That's why you need Rick Caruso. Mm-hmm. Rick Caruso's a dude who does that shit. That's what he does. But he doesn't. But the trans community may be disappointed in Rick Caruso. Because if you said, could you come out to Gay Town at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, we're going to have a film crew out there and a bunch of he-she's, and we're going to remove a sign, he'd say, I think that sounds like a waste of my time. And if you said you want to go to Ghana and you want to dance in ceremonial garb, he'd go, I got bigger fish to fry here in L.A. Maybe pipe replacement would be one of them.
Maybe they'll get an artist rendering of what the streets will look like.
That's
maybe
what we
day.
need. Call in the artist renderer.
Right. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, what happens when the earthquake that we're going to get?
Yeah.
What happens? We lose all our water. Every water main's going to break.
Yes.
And we're constantly in a drought situation here.
I know.
And bye-bye water.
And we never think about capturing the water before it goes into the bay.
No,
either.
Of course not, because the Delta smelt it.
The Delta smelt it.
Right.
Dawson is eating. He didn't catch it on the surf, but he is eating a Delta smelt, everybody. All right, what else you got?
All right, in an Arizona In-N-Out Burger, an unexpected fight club broke out. There was a physical altercation with one man being knocked by the floor. Knocked out with one punch at the end of this video. We'll watch the video in just a second.
But can I tell you this right now? I don't care what kind of Donnybrook bedlam is taking place around me. And these guys, I'm calling it a Donnybrook, but they're not exactly the guys historically. When the name Donnybrook was coined, you wouldn't picture this crowd in that. But there is no possible way that I'm at an In-N-Out Burger. They just showed the little white kid and his little white mom, like, get the hell out of there. They're fleeing. I ain't going nowhere without my burger.
Oh, no.
I will pick up. And by the way, if we were fleeing and I dropped a fry, I would stop and get that fry. That's how I would roll. But
I think I would probably eye the counter and see if there are any unpicked up orders.
And
smart. Maybe grab a bag and then be on my way.
Smart. So all the brothers are fighting in here. White people are fleeing. Yeah. Weird in that they're like simultaneously pussies and having more street fights than they did in the 50s when, you know, the Sharks and the Jets were going at it.
And to watch them fight, they don't know how to fight.
No.
Arms flailing.
No, but I have come up with another invention.
What's that?
I'm going to train my kids. Right now, I told everyone the way not to get fucked with, and someone could make this easy, is just a cauliflower ear snap-on. When you go to a bar, you just snap on your 2 cauliflower ears, and no one will fucking fuck with you because it looks like you've been UFC'd all fucking day long.
Right.
You wrestled in Iowa when you were in college. Like, put on that cauliflower ear. Just slap it on. Snap it right onto your ear. It'll work. That would work. Number one, here's what I would tell my son. I'd go, listen, you're going to get your ass kicked. Now, here's what we do. Pop on that cauliflower ear when you go into that bar. No one will fuck with you. If someone does fuck with you, you don't need to train. We don't need to hit the heavy bag. You don't need to go into camp or speed bag, double-ended bag, sparring rounds, nothing. Here's what I do need you to do. I need basically just 6 months for 15 minutes a day of one kick. When you square off with a dude, you give the one back foot round kick to that guy's front knee and make a little ki noise. Ha!
Right.
Shoot one thing, and that guy's like, oh, fuck, this guy's trained.
Back it off.
You don't have to do anything with your hands. You don't need chokeholds. You don't need any wrestling. You don't need any jiu-jitsu. I'll teach you one kick. That kick will let your opponent know you train mixed martial arts, except for that's the only fucking thing you're going to know.
That's like working on your glamour muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like just working on right side bicep. Right. You do that one kick. Every time I turn on YouTube and there's a street fight, I see the fight start with that one kick. It ends, man. That other dude beats his ass. That one kick will be universally recognized as, this guy's got training.
Right after that kick, you should have somebody playing the Japanese pan flute. Right after.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's an app on the phone.
And just hit him with a ho.
Ho. Ho. Oh. Yeah. Make a little ki, throw that round back kick. All you got to do is hit him in the knee.
Yeah.
And that immediately sends the message the dude is trained. Now, if the dude in front of you is not bothered by that kick, that means he's trained. And now you just fucking take those cauliflower ears and throw it at him and run.
Run.
You just run.
Yeah.
If you fucking whack that guy and that guy goes, he's still in his fucking stance, he's trained. He's trained. So just throw that one kick out there. Okay. More advice. More good advice.
I like it.
All right, so fight continues. Who gets knocked out? I didn't see the guy.
I didn't see that either. It says here that in the video, a dude does get knocked out, but apparently the reason for this fight is they had a huge monsoon in the area, and when it rains in Arizona in the desert, it rains.
It just floods.
It's just, they called it a monsoon.
I remember the first time. Here's my two. I know nothing about anything moments. I remember many, many years ago, like someone would go, oh, we lived in Phoenix, and then during monsoon season, I started laughing. Because in my world, monsoon season meant you lived on an island, like palm trees and stuff. Like, I didn't know there was a desert.
You're in Vietnam.
I didn't know there's a desert monsoon season, but it's worse because there's nothing to absorb it.
Oh, it's really bad, especially for the homeless people who live in the storm drains.
Oh, that's right.
Those things fill up in a matter of seconds. And, while these people are fighting at In and Out, probably a couple hundred people lost their lives.
In the storm drain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not fight in the In and Out, everybody.
No.
That's the one. That's a sanctuary.
It is a sanctuary. That's like church.
That's our sanctuary city.
Let's keep the animal style to the burgers, bro.
That's right. Yeah, good call. Put that up on the bathroom wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys want to, you want to throw down in a Waffle House. That's acceptable. This is in and out. This is our sanctuary city.
I'd kind of like to see, there's always somebody filming it. And there just seems to be a respect for the independent press during all of these brawls. They allow the person to continue to film it. I'd like to one time see a video of the person filming the fight, and then that person gets jumped, and the phone goes flying.
It happens. Antifa will do that to you.
Yeah.
But not these folks.
Yeah.
There's a
TikTok social media fame element to it that they want. So if there are cameras on them.
There's a Geneva Convention, Marcus of Queensberry kind of. These guys recognize the Hague.
Yeah, Donnybrook.
They know how it works.
Right.
And, it's sort of like on the battlefield, if you got a big cross on your helmet, they're not supposed to shoot at you. It happens, but you're a medic. That's how it works. All right, what else you got?
All right, well, this is real. A transgender American regrets fleeing to the Netherlands because all the Muslim migrants want to kill him. Let's check this interview out.
Here and there is a bunch of Algerians and Moroccans or whoever who think that queer people should be beaten. I think that this system where you have people just living out here that are unhappy is not good.
Yeah. And do you think it's safe here?
No, I don't think it's safe.
Oh, it's scary. It's legitimately scary. I decided that my mental health is degrading so substantially being here that I just need to get out, and the situation that I have in the U.S. as a trans person, not good, right? But here I will be hurt or killed.
Yeah, there you go. First of all, your mental health was suffering way before you moved to the Netherlands.
Yeah, first day you bought the stiletto heels.
Right.
That's when your mental health got the best of you.
Now, here's what happened over there. So there's a Dutch town that has only 10,000 residents. Mm-hmm. But they have imported over 2,000 refugees, almost a quarter of the town's population. Mm-hmm. And they put them all right in the center of town. The townspeople are deathly afraid. Mm-hmm. But so this transgender dude applied for asylum because he was afraid of Donald Trump's America.
Yeah.
And they sent him to this town. But guess where they sent him? To the place where the refugees are. You're looking for asylum. Yeah. Go here with these other asylum seekers.
First off, is it curious to everyone that there's refugees? It's always a kind of a women and children first, and this is always a bunch of
military-age males.
Yeah,
who love jihad.
Does that strike
and hate
anyone?
Barbecue pork.
Does that strike anyone who's curious? Number one. I think we got to start judging cultures at some point. Otherwise, we're all going to kill ourselves. Suicidal empathy.
A little bit.
And also, I've been saying this for a million years. Put beavers on top of the Empire State Building. They start looking for wood so they can build a dam. Mm-hmm. And then you go, who needs a dam? And why do the beavers need to build a dam on top of the Empire State Building? And I say, because that's what beavers do. And you go, but it doesn't make sense. I go, they're beavers. So these guys hate gays, and they hate the trans community, and they hate they hate the West. And we bring them here, and they start looking for wood. I don't know why. Why would we expect a different outcome? That's my point. Is like, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh, it's a naivete. It's a arrogance, certainly.
Right. And now you have England. And so now you have a 1-2 punch, and we have it here. So you have all these people, and they've been dumped off, and they're going to get into a business as usual situation. And the business as usual, culturally, is going to be we eat falafel, we listen to the world's worst music, we have a call to prayer at 4 a.m, and we beat up gay dudes. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. Okay, so then we take them all and we plop them down there. And then we get the roving rape gangs and everything else. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's only part one. And we rip off the government with daycare and hospice care and whatever it is. Okay, that's part one. Mm-hmm. Part two is the folks that thought it was a good idea to move them here in the first place and who are trying to get their votes now cover up for them.
Yeah.
So now we have this crazy combination of them engaging in this behavior and the government running cover
The
for them.
government gaslighting everyone. This is not happening.
Right. This is not happening. Then somebody does get caught for rape or murder or whatever. And if you lock them up and throw away the key, then that's going to look really bad for the governor and the people that thought it'd be a good idea to import a bunch of fucking animals. So then the judge who's in on it will give 12 months probation to the rapists and put them back on the street because they don't want to pad the numbers. It's basically the opposite of what they did with January 6th. They took guys who were trespassing and put them in prison for 4 years to make it look bad. And then Joe Biden could brag about 2 million hours served time or whatever. He could brag about all those arrests. They have to do the opposite with these guys. And if it's arresting them for rape and or finding Somali fraud, they can't do that either. So now you have a total shit show because you have all these people that got imported from third world nations, and now they're running around with impunity because the government is now running cover for them and protecting them.
100%.
All right, so good job.
Good job.
And gay guy or trans guy, look, I hear this all the time. Like, you don't know, Sonny Austin 7 times a week goes, you know what it's like being a black woman in this society. Well, you're a multimillionaire, but tell me what it's like being trans and who kills trans. By the way, black guys kill trans, which is funny. But there's no, I don't know. First off, here's how hospitable we are in terms of the community. The gay, the LGBT, whatever. We're so hospitable that every major city has cordoned off a large area and just called it Gay Town, basically. It's like, this is where the gay folk go. Now, you couldn't have that in some of these guys' former lands in the Middle East, but we have whole, essentially, safe zones for all the community to go to. We are so good with this that Nithya Raman can go down to Gay Town on Tuesday and take the sign down in front of a bunch of he, she trannies and is applauded, and there's no gunshots fired.
And the news is covering it.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Where is that Nithya clip? Because it does, now that she's running for mayor, it is kind of funny. I love the guy's speeches, and I love the guy. I don't know why, but I do love the guy who's been trying to get the U-turn sign taken down. That his life's work has been trying to get a U-turn sign so gay dudes can constantly circle the block and blow guys in a shrub on people's front yards.
We should check in with that guy 5 years later and see if his life is any better.
And it's so funny. It's the only traffic related sign in Los Angeles that's ever come down.
Right.
All they do is put them up.
Right.
All right. Sorry. What's your next story?
Well, this is interesting. Apparently there's a video that we're going to watch. Mamdani in New York had a housing event.
Mm-hmm.
And let's watch this.
Woman with a hat with buttons and
big button energy on the hat.
She's wearing her mask,
and she's got a mask covering all of her face.
Yeah. All right.
Our city is turning the corner on tenant power. When we organize, we win results. The Mamdani administration is emboldening us so that we no longer tolerate the violence of evictions as a matter of business as usual.
All right. So silence is violence and evictions
My
are
landlord
violence?
owns dozens of buildings, but he is not a steward of the public trust. In fact, it is the opposite. Our city is turning the corner on...
Oh, God, the good vibes people are fucking taking over.
Eviction is violence.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a weird thing. I was poor for a long time. always paid my rent.
Yeah.
Always. It was just, you had to pay your rent.
That comes off the top.
I came right off the top. I remember trying to get an apartment building once, and the guy ran a credit check on me, and he was like, "Oh shit, man, this is a shit show. It's a disaster." By the way, it cost me $20 for him to run the credit check that basically didn't work out on my behalf. I remember just like sitting with the dude going, "Listen, I know that piece of paper in your hand is a shit show. I pay my rent, and I've never not paid my rent. Now, I don't have truck insurance, and I'm eating top ramen.
Right.
But I've always fucking paid my rent. And the reason I've always paid my rent is because I never knew there was a choice.
There wasn't a choice.
There wasn't
a choice. Now, apparently, it's a choice.
And they can't get you out of there. Here's Nithya posing with the he-she's for taking down a U-turn sign that was only put up because gay dudes would cruise.
I wonder if one of them took that
night.
sign that's hanging in their house right now.
Probably is. Sorry, do we have a clip? Or is it just a picture?
Should be the clip.
Yay! U-turn. 7-foot blonde dude.
Right on the side of District 13.
Hugo Soto Martinez going to fix everything.
Crook. Connected to the no cruising signs that were used to discriminate against the LGBT community. So we removed the last remnants of really terrible policy, and so it's very joyful and exciting.
They don't know how carriage bolts work, by the way.
What is this dude all about? Why?
They slipped through the cracks. They were a relic.
This is my favorite guy.
90s anti-gay policies in Los Angeles. There were signs that explicitly said no cruising, which had been removed years ago.
Okay.
During the 1990s.
That wasn't enough.
They're not anti-gay laws. They're pro-community people living in houses and not wanting to find spent condoms on their driveway.
And maybe I'd like to get home without having to go through this parade of people who are clogging up this street.
Yeah, look, if somebody said, "Hey, Adam, let's just say it was heterosexual cruising. Like, it's not anti-gay. It's like there's a bunch of dudes and they're cruising up and down trying to meet ladies." I, as a neighbor in the neighborhood, would go like, "I don't want people cruising my street all night."
Right.
And by the way, getting out and fucking in the bushes.
It's easy, though, when you call something racist or homophobic.
Anti-gay laws.
Yeah, anti-gay laws of the 90s.
Oh, I do want to hear the description the black guy gives. That's pretty good.
They said no cruising, which had been removed years ago.
During the 1990s, it was very much a cruisy area where a lot of the LGBT community had no other option but to meet each other in the streets. So this became a very famous place.
I reached out.
All right, hold on.
Did you know that in the 90s there weren't places in LA where the gay people could go to meet each other?
You have to meet gay dudes in the street.
You have to do it in the street.
What other option?
None.
Might you have?
None. The street is the only place.
That's how you pick up gay dudes, because there's no gay bars.
No, none.
And there's no community whatsoever.
There's no gay people in Los Angeles.
Where would you find them? They're out in the street.
Well, they go that street.
My sister lived in the 80s above a bar in Silver Lake called Cuffs.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a pure gay bar. So there were some options. There's Cuffs and the Abbey and all manner of gay bars. But you had to literally hit the streets to find a gay dude in the 90s because you had no other option.
Because West Hollywood did not exist.
I do like the no other option.
No other option.
No.
And also, I mean, they got rid of all the no cruising signs before.
Yeah.
This is an example of, if I solve a problem, what am I doing here?
Right.
So they already solved this problem, but then they had to go back in and solve the problem again.
Right.
Because they can't do anything else.
Nithya is focused on this and not crumbling pipes and infrastructure.
She's our next mayor. She's our next mayor. We are screwed. And the other thing about our mayoral election, it's, I guess, written into the code of the election that there will be no write-in candidates allowed. So, at first you might think we could all just write Spencer Pratt's name in. Nope, no space for that. No write-ins will be counted. It's either Nithya or Bass. And We're fucked. We're totally fucked.
This guy, Hugo Soto, by the way, is the guy who wants the non-citizens to vote, too.
Yeah.
So it's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Of course.
Right. All right. So trannies and people, God, it's got to be such a weird.
I mean,
it's funny to watch gay dudes wrestle with a sign and chicks because they have no idea what they're doing. Chuck, what do you think that is? Like a 3/8 carriage bolt on there?
I'd sure say so.
Looks like a 3/8 carriage bolt?
To me, yeah.
Yeah. Now, listen, would you go with a lock washer on the back of that thing? I mean, obviously, you'd want it to be a galvanized carriage bolt because it's outdoors, right?
Lock it and wash it.
We'd lock it and wash it. We wouldn't go with one of those nylon lock nuts, or you'd go with the lock wash. You go with a regular washer, lock washer, and just a regular nut, or would you go with the nylon locking nut on that carriage bolt?
You know, the nylon locking nut, that's a last resort option when it comes to it.
Yeah.
See, what you got to do, Chuck, is you get 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the nylon locking nut is kind of a last resort situation?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, she spent the day wrestling with a gay sign. And
she feels good about it.
Oh, yeah. No, she's excited. It's a big day. And after this, she's going to go to that taxpayer house's dude and tear down his treehouse.
Oh, yeah.
So she's getting all the work done.
But see, that's the thing, is all they do is destroy.
They literally just take shit down,
and
they don't fix anything up.
If Los Angeles is destroying it itself through 110-year-old water mains that are going to continue to burst, lay back and let it happen, because that's the plan.
It's really, I mean, a lot of it really comes down to...
It's Chinatown.
A lot of it really comes down to... I have, let's say, a great interest in things mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Chuck, if you can remember it all the way back to yesterday when I announced I was going to change out the garbage disposal.
This was an impressive feat of yours.
I bought a new garbage disposal, and I said to Nick, Nick, I'm going to swap out this garbage disposal. Not a plumber, not a garbage disposal guy, but I looked at it, and I said, I'm going to swap this thing out in between 15 and 20 minutes. Done. Working. Hit the switch. And said, fine. And then Chuck was sitting next to me. Well, he's standing next to me. I said, Chuck, what time is it now?
Okay.
So it's 3:19. I said, let's wait until 3:20.
Yeah.
I want to start it.
Yeah.
On a round number.
Makes the math easier.
Makes it easier. Put the garbage disposal in. Done at 3:38.
18 minutes.
18 minutes swapped out. Done. I like doing stuff like this. I enjoy it. To others, it's misery. They don't understand it. And they don't like it. And
fear.
I don't.
Fear of really fucking something up.
I mean, look, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't give a fuck about any of this stuff. He's a millionaire. He likes writing jokes and traveling and eating. He doesn't like it. I mean, I sat, ironically, in the Man Show with two dudes who didn't give two fucks about any cars or building or any. It was like Daniel and Jimmy could have cared fucking less about any kind of building or cars or knowledge or tools or anything.
Right.
They didn't care. But they had other interests. And, you know, Jimmy's much better at making a pizza than I am. And last time I saw him, he was presiding over a giant pile of smoked ribs and one of those smoker barbecue-y things, one of the ones that has the turn handle on it and the chains, you know, where it goes down.
Yeah, half-barrel grill.
I mean, he's right. I mean, okay, that's what he does. This is what I do.
Right.
So now Karen Bass doesn't give two fucks about this stuff, and neither does Nithya Raman, but neither's any woman I've ever been with, right? Now, it makes sense that if you put me in charge of Los Angeles, I would start gravitating toward the mechanical stuff. I'd want to know about the firefighting stuff and the water collection stuff, and I'd have ideas mechanically based. And then other people would have ideas about the Korean community and going down to Little Ethiopia and getting a photo of you shaking the hand of the ceremonial leader of Little Ethiopia. And then guess what? I'd have no interest. Now, is it good? Should I go down and meet with the leaders of the LGBT community? Maybe it's good. Maybe that's a good thing. But guess what? I would have no interest.
Right.
Once in a blue moon, you would force me to go do something that I didn't really want to do. But if you told me to take down the gay cruising sign, I'm not interested. And if they told me to go to Ghana, I'd say I'm not interested. But if you start talking to me about infrastructure, I would be interested because that's who I am. So we get a whole bunch of people, and before this, super puss Eric Garcetti, who is Eric the dad or the...
Eric, no, Gil Garcetti was the dad.
Yeah. Super puss Eric Garcetti.
Super puss.
And super puss Gavin Newsom, and then all these dumb chicks, they're not interested in any of this stuff. So how would it work?
Yeah.
I mean, why would it work? I mean, they're not, that's not their thing. They're interested in the gay community.
On the top of the Empire State Building.
That's not what it is. And my thing is I want to get someone in charge who's interested in building shit. And that's why when Trump showed up with Karen Bass 2 days after the fire, it was like, build, build, build. And she's like, whoa, cool your jets.
Yeah.
And
where are we now?
A year and a half later, we don't have anything. All right.
Yeah,
now,
right at a year and a half.
But if Trump were in charge of Los Angeles, then there'd be no hanging out with the he-she's on Hyperion, but there would be water pipes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a citizen,
which do you like better?
I like the water. You know what? I'm going to be magnanimous.
Okay.
I want both of them.
Oh, yeah.
But if you give me a choice, I'll take the water pipes over the he-she's on Hyperion. All right, what do we got? We got
one more here.
One more.
President Trump has announced a plan outlining how Americans are being regularly killed by illegal aliens who fraudulently obtain trucking license. He's got a solution.
All right.
Today I'm making one more important announcement. My administration will soon take historic action to get illegal alien truck drivers who are just killing a lot of people. They can't read signs. Many of them are on drugs or alcohol, and they shouldn't be driving these things. And they came in totally illegally, and we don't want them, but they are driving all over American roadways, and we're going to replace them with proud American veterans who are going to take our veterans, who are going to make them. We're going to teach them a lot about driving trucks, and in many cases they know. We're going to say any American who's driven a heavy truck for our military will automatically be eligible for a commercial driver's license. So we're going to get them taken care of.
Good. Makes sense. So if you just want to know how the system works, I think in California we had one of these illegal trucker guys, and he took out 3 people when he just plowed through a whole bunch of cars, never put the brakes on.
And I believe the sentence was
under 5 years.
Lopsided.
Right.
Yes.
Derek Chauvin got, I don't know if he's ever coming out of prison for putting his knee on the back of a junkie who OD'd. Yeah. But it's all optics, isn't it, people? So the one dude's white, and that guy down on the ground is black, and so we need him in prison forever. This guy's Indian, and he killed a couple of white folk, but we got him into the country, and we're fans of this guy, so we got to give him under 5 years for killing 3 people, and under 5 years for killing 3 people. Chauvin gets 30 years for putting his knee on the back of a guy who was ODing.
Yeah.
All right, that's the system, everybody. Who do you want running that? Mr. and Mrs. Optics? All right.
I'll take the one that replaces the water mains.
That's right. This Saturday, Huntington Beach, Sea Legs at the beach, fun outdoor venue. And then Torrance, Mom said yes, 2 shows. That's a fun venue. It's a rock and roll venue.
Great
man.
place.
It's fun. Mm-hmm. You go to, I'm going to be at Uncle Vinny's in New Jersey coming up on Thursday. And then Friday, Rodney's been there a few times. Go to Carolla.com for all the live shows. Dawson?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Vegas on Saturday at Aliante Hotel and Casino doing a show with two people from That Metal Show, Don Jameson and Jim Florentine, and Rich Voss on stage as well. Follow me at Los Angeles for those tickets.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla for John Popper and Dawson saying mahalo.